In the shower. My scariest encounter occurred when I was in middle school. I am 22 years old now. I was about 14 years old and was always at my best friend's house. According to my friend and her family, weird things happened frequently at their house, though I actually thought nothing of the events. My friend often told me stories about hearing footsteps in the attic, cords being unplugged for no reason, and lights being switched off. I felt safe in the new house and had no real reason to be scared. One afternoon, I decided to take a shower in my friend's parents' bathroom. I went into their room, locked the bathroom door, walked past the sinks, and locked myself into the bathroom with the shower and the toilet. I made sure there was no way my friend's perverted little brother could get into the bathroom. I started the shower and stripped down. Like most people, I had a routine. I started by washing my hair. I glanced out of the clear, non-tempered glass door while massaging the shampoo into my scalp and saw what appeared to be my friend standing there. Shocked, I did a double take and then proceeded to tell her to get out. Before I could finish my sentence, the blonde girl in the white robe turned around and disappeared without ever opening or closing the door. After hurrying to get out of the shower, I asked my friend why she was in the bathroom. She said that she had never even entered the bathroom. No one else in the house was blonde like her. The event was so shocking that I was unable to take showers with clear glass for about 6 years. After the 6 years, now I put towels over the sides of the shower so I cannot see outside of the glass. I even had to go to therapy for this event. People have blamed it on the steam. People have blamed it on the glass. I know what it was. Let me out of the shower. This following occurrences happened in early 2011. E, our youngest daughter, and Z, our youngest son, were still living at home at this time. Our oldest daughter and her husband came over for dinner and a movie night. Z's girlfriend was also there. About midway into the movie, E decided that she would go take a shower and go to bed because she had to get up early for classes the next day. She said she was going to use my shower, so the hallway bath would be open for when anyone needed to use it. The rest of us watched the movie till the end. When it was over, I went to the kitchen to get some drinks for everybody. As I walked into the kitchen, I heard a faint cry. It alarmed me. I immediately thought of E, so I went down the hallway. I looked into her bedroom, but she wasn't in there. Thinking she was taking a long shower, I turned to my room. When I entered my bedroom, I heard E scream, "Mom!" I opened the bathroom door right away and saw E sitting on the shower floor. She was almost hysterical, screaming, "I can't get the shower door open!" When I grabbed the door handle, a sort of electric static feeling shot through my hand and arm. It was painful enough to cause me to drop my arm, but the door easily came open. E said she was washing her hair when she heard what sounded like someone opening the bathroom door. She said she hollered that she was in the bathroom. She peered through the frosted shower door the best that she could. The room door looked closed. She thought she heard a low, deep laugh. It freaked her out so much, she decided to end her shower right then. She said she tried to open the shower door, but it would not open. She pushed and shoved and even kicked the door. It would not budge. My husband and I both tested the shower door over and over again, slamming it, closing it softly, trying to get it to stick, trying to prove to her and to ourselves it it was just a tricky door, right? We could not come up with any reasonable explanation for it. I'm not sure if this had anything to do with the above occurrence. However, a few weeks earlier, E was in the shower when she received a text message from unknown number that said, "I'm watching you." We never found out who sent that message. We went to the police with it, but they said it was impossible to trace. A few days after E's experience in the shower happened, I had my own experience in the shower. I was in the shower, water running hot enough that the shower and the bathroom was becoming foggy. I could see the fog over the shower door. I heard the bathroom door softly open. Thinking it was my husband coming in, I didn't really pay it much mind. Then I heard what sounded like a giggle. I opened the shower door and looked out to find the room bathed in fog. Right in the middle of the fog was a very dense section in the outline of what looked like a figure. It was about 3 feet tall. I stood there and watched it lift what looked like an arm. I stood there mesmerized. After a minute or so, the dense section started to spread out, becoming more like the rest of the fog. I closed the shower door and forced myself to finish my shower. I kept telling myself that it was just my imagination running wild, right? A few minutes later, I tried to open the shower door without success. I shoved on it, I kicked it, I leaned against it. I could not open it at all. After a few minutes, I tried again. It popped open. The fog had completely dissipated. As I was getting out of the shower, I noticed the window curtain had a little opening in it, just enough where I could see my neighbor's back porch steps. Lounging on his elbow on the steps was a grinning, grayish, hairless, skinny, almost toothless naked man. He waved. In a blink of an eye, he was gone. I've never told anyone about the guy, never. He looked dead. I don't know if it was my imagination or some light trick that caused me to think I saw him. I just don't know. At my insistence, a few months later, my husband and youngest son demolished the shower and completely remodeled the bathroom. Did a spirit turn on the shower? It was another night at work doing the graveyard shift. I started becoming accustomed to all the little noises and weird taps that happened throughout the nights. But this night was the one that made me think, okay, I'm starting to get anxiety working this graveyard shift. I had a hard time staying awake, so I drank coffee, bathroom, water, bathroom, energy drink, bathroom, you get the idea. As I was washing my hands, I had a sudden thought. Something is gonna happen, I just know it, I better hurry up. It was a silly at first, then I started having a creepy feeling. I headed back towards my desk, my phone rang, and I remember seeing my other night coworker head out to the break room and restroom since I was done. I was on a call while doing data entry, and see him 10 minutes later leave the restroom area, chatting on his cell phone, and head towards the outside balcony. I thought, damn it, I need to use the restroom again. I waited until his break was over and went to the restroom. I always dreaded that area at night. As I turned the corner, I noticed the carpet was a softer feeling. I only had on flip-flops, and it was darker as if it was wet. I thought it was strange and felt that something in the room was off. I slowly opened the bathroom door and I heard a rushing sound. At first, it sounded like a fan was on really high, but we had no fans in the bathroom. I peeked around the corner down onto the white tile floor and saw it was flooded. I was shocked. What the hell? Between the men's and female restroom was a small middle room with lockers and a shower. I think the company before us had a gym or something. Anyways, I stood there intimidated and knew I should open the door and see what's going on. It was pretty loud in there. I opened the door and it was dark, so I found the light switch and saw the adjustable shower head was turned outwards full blast with hot water. I also saw the curtain was pulled back, so it was pouring out onto the floor. I couldn't believe it. I ran back and yelled for my coworker, "Come here!" He jogged towards me. What's wrong? Are you alright? I pointed towards the floor, and he followed me into the female restroom with his mouth wide open. What the hell? Did you take a shower or something? He started laughing until I told him no. He asked if anyone else was in the building. No one is allowed in the building after hours. We all had badges. He opened the door that led to the men's restroom and saw the water had flooded to that side as well. Oh no, we better call the boss and let her know what's going on so I don't think we're like vandalizing or goofing off. I kept telling him, but I was just in here. There was nothing going on. It was quiet. I didn't notice anything. What the hell? We both walked back over to the shower, which was pretty hot, and the lever to turn the water off was a long lever that you had to push upwards to shut it off. It was pretty tight, but not too hard to turn up and down. Whoever or whatever turned the water on had to have pushed that lever down very firmly. I kept asking him, "You're not messing with me, are you? Come on, dude, seriously. You didn't just turn on that thing to scare me, did you?" He kept replying, "No." We walked all around the building to see if anyone was there and peeped outside the parking lot to see if any cars were parked outside either. Nothing. We found the closet, which the janitors left all their supplies in. It was always wide open, but this night it was shut and locked. We ended up finding the wet floor signs and put them all around and found a bunch of old towels to soak up the water as much as we could and went back to our desk, puzzled. I took my last break and walked around the building again in the dark, alone, and spoke out loud to see what would happen. "Hello! Did you do that? Did you turn on the shower tonight? That was pretty impressive. It's also kind of funny. Hello!" I didn't hear anything, but I felt giggly about the whole situation for some reason. I have previously felt that there's a female spirit there that was bored and liked to play around. I don't know why, but it just felt like a female presence. 5'5", a dark shadow I have seen, and I think she's approached me briefly a few times when I'm not paying attention. I know it all sounds odd. By this time, it was 4 in the morning, and some morning people were starting to come in, and I got worried. We didn't say anything, and quietly went back to our seats since calls started rolling in. 6 a.m. It was when my shift was over, and I noticed the janitor came in and saw the wet floor. He looked puzzled and walked all around. I wanted to tell him what happened, but he wasn't a believer in the paranormal type of thing, so I didn't want to waste my time. I heard later that day, he called the plumbing company to complain about leaky toilets and pipes, but we knew it wasn't that. We only told a couple fellow night coworkers about what really happened, since we thought no one else would believe us. It was the most interesting night there, that's for sure.